Have you ever wondered about the very beginning of the United States and the first states that decided to join this grand experiment of a nation? Imagine a time when the idea of a unified country was still fragile and uncertain, yet some brave states took the plunge to form the United States as we know it today. But why did they join? What motivated them? In this journey, we'll explore the top 10 oldest states in the USA, following the order in which they were admitted to the Union. Each state has its unique story, some filled with urgency, others with calculated decisions, but all crucial to the foundation of America. Before we dive in, if you're fascinated by history and the stories that shaped our world, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Number 1. Delaware, the first state. Did you know that Delaware is often referred to as the first state? But why did Delaware, a small state, take the bold step of being the very first to ratify the U.S. Constitution on December 7, 1787? Delaware's decision was driven by a desire to secure its place in the new nation quickly. As a small state with limited population and land, Delaware was keenly aware of the potential dangers of being overshadowed by its larger neighbors. The state's leaders recognized that joining the Union early would ensure Delaware had a voice in the new federal government. By ratifying the Constitution unanimously and without delay, Delaware sent a clear message. It was committed to the idea of a unified nation and was eager to take an active role in its formation. This early commitment earned Delaware its proud title and a permanent place at the forefront of American history. Number 2. Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. Why is Pennsylvania known as the Keystone State? Did you know that Pennsylvania, the second state to join the Union, was crucial in balancing the early political and economic landscape of America? On December 12, 1787, just 5 days after Delaware, Pennsylvania ratified the U.S. Constitution. Pennsylvania's swift decision was influenced by its strategic importance in the new nation. The state was home to Philadelphia, the meeting place for the Continental Congress and the Constitutional Convention. Pennsylvania's leaders understood that being at the heart of the American Revolution and the crafting of the Constitution gave them a significant stake in the success of the new government. By ratifying early, Pennsylvania secured its central role, ensuring that its interests were well represented and that the state remained a keystone in the structure of the fledgling nation. Number 3. New Jersey, the Garden State. New Jersey might be best known today for its bustling cities and beautiful shorelines, but did you know that it was the third state to ratify the U.S. Constitution? Why did New Jersey decide to join the Union so quickly on December 18, 1787? The answer lies in New Jersey's geographic and economic position. Nestled between two powerful states, New York and Pennsylvania, New Jersey's leaders were keenly aware that their state needed to act swiftly to avoid being dominated by its neighbors. By joining the Union early, New Jersey ensured that it would not be sidelined in the economic and political decisions that were sure to shake the new nation. The state's ratification was also influenced by its desire to improve interstate commerce. New Jersey's ports and industries stood to benefit greatly from the stability and uniformity that the new federal government promised. In this way, New Jersey's early entry into the Union was a strategic move to protect and enhance its economic future. Number 4. Georgia, the Southern Anchor. Why would a state like Georgia, so far south and removed from the bustling northern cities, be among the first to join the Union? Did you know that Georgia was the fourth state to ratify the U.S. Constitution on January 2, 1788? Georgia's decision to join the Union was influenced by both security and economic concerns. The state was the southernmost of the original 13 colonies and faced constant threats from both Native American tribes and Spanish forces in Florida. By joining the Union, Georgia hoped to secure military support from the new federal government to protect its borders and settlers. Additionally, Georgia's economy was heavily dependent on agriculture, particularly the cultivation of rice and indigo. The stability promised by the new constitution was seen as vital to ensuring the growth and prosperity of its agricultural economy. For Georgia, ratification was as much about survival as it was about joining a new nation. Number 5. Connecticut, the Constitution State. Did you know that Connecticut is known as the Constitution State because of its early influence on American government? But why did Connecticut decide to join the Union on January 9, 1788, as the fifth state? Connecticut's leaders were no strangers to the benefits of a structured written government. The state had adopted the Fundamental Orders in 1639, which many historians regard as the first written constitution in Western history. This experience with the constitutional government made Connecticut's leaders strong proponents of the new U.S. Constitution. They saw it as a natural extension of their own governmental principles and an opportunity to ensure that the new nation would be guided by laws and not by whims. Ratifying the Constitution early allowed Connecticut to influence the development of the federal government and protect its own interests, particularly in commerce and trade. For Connecticut, joining the Union was a way to continue its legacy of governance by constitution, ensuring that the new nation would thrive under a system of laws. Number 6. Massachusetts, the cradle of liberty. Massachusetts, known as the Cradle of Liberty, was a key player in the American Revolution, but did you know it was the 6th state to join the Union on February 6, 1788? Why did Massachusetts, with its storied revolutionary history, take the step? The decision wasn't straightforward. Massachusetts was deeply divided over the issue of ratification, with strong anti-federalist sentiments, fearing that the new constitution would grant too much power to the federal government at the expense of the states and individual freedoms. However, Massachusetts was also home to many of the revolution's leaders, including John Adams and Samuel Adams, who saw the need for a stronger national government to ensure the survival and prosperity of the young nation. The state's eventual ratification came with the understanding that amendments would be added to protect individual liberties, the beginnings of what would become the Bill of Rights. Massachusetts' decision was a pivotal moment, balancing the desire for liberty with the need for unity and strength in the new United States. Number 7. Maryland, America in miniature. Why is Maryland often called America in miniature? Did you know that Maryland was the 7th state to ratify the Constitution on April 28, 1788, reflecting its diverse geography and the broader American experience? Maryland's decision to join the Union was heavily influenced by its unique position as a border state, straddling the line between North and South. The state's economy was varied, with a mix of agriculture, fishing, and trade, reflecting the diversity of the nation as a whole. Maryland's leaders saw the new constitution as a way to protect their interests, particularly against the dominance of larger states. However, there were concerns about the balance of power between the federal government and the states, leading to a vigorous debate. Maryland ultimately ratified the Constitution, but like Massachusetts, it did so with the understanding that a Bill of Rights would follow to safeguard individual liberties. Maryland's entry into the Union marked a crucial step in ensuring that the new nation would represent the interests of all its regions, from the bustling northern cities to the agricultural southern lands. Number 8. South Carolina, the Palmetto State. South Carolina, with its strong sense of identity and tradition, became the 8th state to join the Union on May 23, 1788. But did you know that South Carolina's decision to ratify the Constitution was driven by concerns about its economy and security? At the time, South Carolina's economy was heavily reliant on agriculture, particularly the cultivation of rice and indigo on large plantations. The state's leaders were concerned that without a strong federal government, their economic interests could be jeopardized, particularly in terms of trade and defense. The new constitution promised a stable environment that would protect property rights and promote economic growth. However, South Carolina was also deeply aware of its unique cultural and social structures, which it wanted to preserve within the new national framework. The debate over ratification was intense, but ultimately the state's leaders believed that joining the Union would secure the prosperity and safety of South Carolina, ensuring that its voice would be heard in the shaping of the new nation. Number 9. New Hampshire, the Granite State. New Hampshire, often referred to as the Granite State for its rugged landscape and resilient people, was the 9th state to ratify the Constitution on June 21, 1788. Did you know that New Hampshire's ratification was the critical 9th vote that officially put the Constitution into effect? New Hampshire's nickname, derived from its extensive granite formations, symbolizes the state's strength and durability. The decision to ratify the Constitution was not made lightly. There was significant debate in New Hampshire, with concerns about the power of the new federal government and the rights of individual states. The state was small, and its leaders were cautious about joining a union where they might be overshadowed by larger states. However, the promise of a stronger, more unified national government, which could provide economic stability and protection, ultimately persuaded the state to ratify. When New Hampshire finally agreed to join, it became the ninth and deciding state, making the Constitution the law of the land. This pivotal moment underscored New Hampshire's crucial role in the birth of the United States. Number 10. Virginia, the Old Dominion. Why is Virginia known as the Old Dominion? Did you know that Virginia was the 10th state to ratify the Constitution on June 25, 1788, despite its size and influence? Virginia, one of the largest and most populous states at the time, had a profound influence on the formation of the United States. The state was rich in history and leadership, home to key figures like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison. However, Virginia's path to ratification was fraught with intense debate. The state's leaders were divided, with many fearing that the new federal government would infringe upon the rights of states and individuals. The Anti-Federalists, led by Patrick Henry, were particularly vocal in their opposition. However, the promise of adding a Bill of Rights to protect individual freedoms helped to sway the vote in favor of ratification. Virginia's decision to join the Union was significant because of its size and influence. As one of the oldest and most powerful states, Virginia's ratification added legitimacy to the new Constitution and helped to bring other hesitant states on board. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Your support helps us continue to explore the fascinating stories that shaped our world. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to bringing you more incredible tales from history. Until next time.